This is for all of you trying to discover what religion and spirituality really mean. It's for people who believe that spiritual wisdom doesn't always reside in scriptures and rituals but can often be found in everyday acts of kindness and selflessness. This story, if you are wondering what really makes someone worthy of honor, will give you a good idea. There was a king who ruled fairly and justly, and he had 4 sons. He loved them all dearly, but one day he would need to choose a successor to inherit the throne. So one day, to see how worldly wise his children were about true spirituality, he called his sons and said, "Go and find the most religious person you can. Whoever brings me the most religious person will inherit my kingdom." So off the 2 sons went on their quest to please their father. As for the eldest son, the scholar, he quickly set out to find someone who could dazzle the king with his broad understanding of religious scriptures. He sought out a well-known scholar with a lifetime of study of the sacred writings of much of the world's religions. The wise scholar with extensive knowledge would recite the scriptures from memory. The elder son presented the scholar to the king, who received the learned man with respect and offered him gifts for his knowledge. Once the scholar departed, the king nodded in assent but said not another word. The second son was a man of the world and knew all about religion. He was a well-traveled man who searched for a pandit who had traveled to many tirthas and performed many rituals in the name of religion. He presented the pandit to the king, who again received him with gifts and praise. Though looking, he was a humble pandit, but his devotion and rituals were quite famous. The king expressed admiration, but again said nothing about who would inherit the throne. The third son, always intrigued by asceticism, journeyed long and far to find a true monk. He had met a monk living in solitude, eating only once a week, the rest of his days devoted entirely to meditation. He was a monk admired for his discipline and simplicity, and the third son took him to the king. The monk was received by the king due to his great asceticism and devotion. Yet after the monk departed, the king said nothing. Finally, the last-born son, the youngest and the humblest of all, returns to the palace with a man from the village who was poor. This man had no special knowledge of scripture, no formal training in rites and rituals, and no impressive title. The fourth son said simply to the king, "This is the man I found. He was cleaning the wounds of a dog. Whether you consider him a truly religious man is up to you." The king, taken aback but curious, asked the man, "Do you follow any religious rites? Do you meditate or study scriptures?" A poor man, smiling humbly, answered, "I'm illiterate. I cannot read or write. I do not know the scriptures. But if I see someone needs help, I help them. I care for a person if he or she is sick. If you're hungry, I'll feed you. I just try to help whoever comes my way, whoever they are, whatever they believe." The king felt so touched by the man's humility and selflessness that he instinctively knew that this was religion in its simplest terms. He did not require the scriptures or rituals to comprehend what spirituality truly was. Faith could really be found in the ordinary acts of kindness, compassion, and love for others. "To you, my son, for you have understood the true meaning of religion," the king said, immediately turning to his fourth son. "It is not in what we know or the rites we enact, but in how we treat other people and live our lives of compassion. You shall be my successor." The fourth prince, born from a commoner, was humble and grateful, yet he understood that he could never get to where he was by relying on his title or money. It came from understanding the true core of religion, living for others and helping without expectation. Moral of the story: real spirituality is not found in knowledge, rituals, and external appearances. It is revealed in the simple, daily acts of kindness and compassion with which we treat others. True religiousness is not what we say we believe but how we conduct our lives and treat others.